Euphoria season 1 is now on HBO and has finished completely airing on television. The first 8 episodes are now online to watch. I wasn't originally planning on reviewing this, but apparently some people wanted it, and I wanted to talk about it. I wasn't initially, like I said, planning on. Then I started watching episode 1, and then I watched the first 20 minutes, then I watched the next 20 minutes, and then after I was done with the episode, I said, yeah, I think I might just actually review this, because there's a lot to talk about here. This is the show about a girl named Rue Bennett, played by Zendaya, who's been through a case of massive addiction, and after overdosing and being admitted to the hospital and going through an extensive rehab program, she's back and she wants to restart her life from the ground up. One little issue. She's still kind of addicted. She can't get over the high of it all, and she wouldn't be happy if it wasn't there at all in her life. And so that creates a bit of a complication. However, when she meets a girl named Jules at this party and she starts to become friends with her, there are some things that she starts to reevaluate and maybe change for the better. But there's a lot of other high school drama going on around her, some really serious and nasty stuff, and that's essentially season 1. There's a lot of crazy stuff in here. I don't want to give away too many spoilers because I didn't know much going in. In fact, I knew nothing going in. I didn't see any trailers. I didn't see much. I saw the poster. There was like a tier poster. I thought, okay, I like Zendaya. I think she's really great. I think she's really talented. When I heard that she was going to be in a whole show, I was excited because I think she's great. So naturally, I started binge watching this entire season. And now that the season finale is aired, I can talk about it a bit more because I think this show's really great. I really liked it a lot. There are so many great things about it, so many little elements that make up just how fantastical the whole thing is. There's a lot of contributing factors to that, and a lot of things that work hand in hand with each other. For one, the writing and acting. They complement one another because the writing is such that you need a powerful performance or performances to act it out. There's no way you can do this with just some hammy acting here and there. Like, those are some serious themes and discussions which are there throughout this entire season. You couldn't do it with just, a sleight hand. And I'm glad that they chose a very raw, unfiltered look. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Because I just reviewed The Boys earlier today, and I said those same words. Raw, unfiltered. I'm glad that shows are not holding back when it comes to showcasing certain things. Of course, The Boys is a very different thing. Here it's about addiction, it's about abuse, it's about a lot of serious themes in today's world. And the show embraces the fact that this is not completely okay. Like, there is a way to look at this. And it's not afraid to get into the grittiness of it. And that's something I genuinely respect. A lot of people go through these things. A lot of friends I know have gone through these things, and it's tough. It's heartbreaking, and the fact that the show has such a merciless eye to it, while also being a message of, that there can be some hope, there can be some positivity to find, and it's not trying to outright be like the answer to it is only more, more pain. It's just it is important to keep that in mind. And I think it's a really powerful thing that the show gets across. And the performances complement that perfectly because you've got Zendaya giving a career best here. This is honestly Golden Globe worthy, not just Emmy worthy. What is higher? Is it Emmys or is it Golden Globes? I feel like it's the Golden Globes, right? Like that's what's higher. If that's the case, I think that's really what she should be gunning for here. I really think she deserves a nomination. If they don't give it, honestly, it'll be very disappointing because, come on, this is not the kind of a performance that someone who is an amateur gives. She's given a lot to this, and I'm glad that she's doing more of this stuff because I think she's really talented. I hope she's in more stuff. In fact, down the line, if I ever work on something bigger than this, definitely love to work with her. Like, she's at the top of my list right now. And make sure the project is just as good, if not better. Also really great, however, is Hunter Schafer, who plays Jules. She has a very complicated character. There's a lot of layers to her, which she's not telling a lot of people, and a lot of people are not being told about. And so that creates a very complicated image of who do you root for in certain moments. Do you care about her, or do you think that she's being something that she shouldn't be? Do you think she's hurting people, or she's trying to make sure people are not hurt? And so that creates a very debating, context for this character. That's appreciated. I do like the fact that they did that. It's not very straightforward, which would have been something that would have been very conventional. Then you would have known the whole time and just been like, yep, we're done. We figured this out perfectly. But the whole cast, actually, all of them did a really great job. Also really great, however, is the cinematography. Gorgeous camera work. Some of the best I've seen on television in a very long time. The colors, the camera movements, the angles. There are certain things they've done with sequences, especially ones where Rue is on something, that blew my mind. Especially in the season finale. There are certain things they've done which, amazing. Really, you gotta hand it to the production and the makers of the show. They've done some really phenomenal stuff here. Very unconventional and very different from other teenage dramas that you may see. It tries to be as unconventional as possible and as different as it could be without falling into genre cliches or, just errors overall. It is tricky what they do with that unpredictability though, because there are certain characters who have moments that you're sort of debating the line of where do you now stand with this character. They've done some really bad stuff, but then this is also happening. Like, how do I feel about this? The show is not afraid to ask these questions and to present these questions directly to you, the viewer, and have you debate that with yourself in your head or with whoever you're watching it with. And it's not afraid to explore those dark themes and to explore the complications of it all. It's not always very simple, and the show explains that. It's not simple. It's not simple as a yes or no. There's a lot of different moving parts to it that you gotta consider when it comes to certain things. And even with characters who we care about, the show makes it very clear. Does all the nonsense mean that Rue should be okay with the drugs? No, but at the same time, the show is creating a case like, then what? The best way I can describe it is this. Like, one tweet right after, I think it was episode 4, which I'll talk more about in a second. I want to talk about that episode. Someone actually tweeted this, like, this show is every parent's worst nightmare. Because when I was going to high school, a lot of people who were older than me were like, I wonder if this happens, I wonder if that happens, and I was like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. But stuff like that has happened. There are some things that are in this show that are serious, and they actually do happen to people in high school, and it's not afraid to showcase that. Honestly, any parent watching this, there might be a moment where they're like, yeesh, I have lots of questions for my kid now. Let's talk about that episode thing though, a 4 thing though, because I do really want to discuss that. As a filmmaking person, that might have been my favorite episode because it's perfect. The shooting style, the acting, the score. By the way, great musical choice throughout. The soundtrack, score, all of it. What a fantastic achievement. That particular episode should be studied, honestly. It's just fantastic. The level of work that has gone into creating that is beyond me. Seriously. Give big round of applause to everybody involved in crew. And just, wow. That blew me away. I do have a few little issues here and there with season. There's a few subplots that I don't really think mattered too much in the long run. There's a few points where there are important subplots, but they're kind of the plots where I'm like, this. I wanted to get back to the more interesting thing. It feels like a detour of sorts, even though you know what's going on. There's a subplot with this guy, not the guy you're thinking of, other guy, you know who it is, who has a girlfriend. He's not sure what their relationship is like, and his character I just don't get at points. Like, I don't really know what they were trying to do with that. They're trying to create, again, certain levels with it, but I don't know. It feels a bit unresolved, maybe. I'm not really sure. But it was not the one I was interested in so much. Maybe that's just me. But then again, this whole review is just my personal opinion on the whole thing overall. There's a few pacing moments in episodes after the fourth one, which I was like, oh, that's definitely like a little backseat compared to what we just saw. So maybe, speed it up just a little bit more the next time around. I don't know. But those are minor little things. Those are things that it can be overlooked very easily because they aren't major flaws. Overall, however, the season's great. Episode 8's finale, the last moments of it are interesting. They're open to interpretation in many ways. I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on that. Leave them in the comment section below. We'll talk about it. I'm going to give Euphoria Season 1 an A. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe. I'll see you guys at the movies.